Hi everyone, how are you doing today? I am doing quite well, thank you. As you can see, I'm working on a different project today. I am not working on Henry or the owl. No, neither of those are finished. I actually think I jinxed myself after my update video on Wednesday, because I was hoping to have that page on Henry finished by today so that I could be working on this project. But then after that video, I just did not feel like working on confetti. So I decided to pull out the mushrooms instead. So here is what the piece will look like when it is done. It is the mushroom sampler from France, and I am doing this along the XS Mushroom Sow, along with Elena B and many others. And the rules to that sow are, as long as you stitch a mushroom, you get to participate. And as you can see, I am working on this motif here, which is not a very big motif. It shouldn't take me too long to do. And then hopefully once I get this done, I will go back to Henry and finish that page. And so, and it's interesting, the picture does not do this justice because it looks like it's a black mushroom. But when you're stitching it, it's actually a blended thread. It's a bunch of blended threads in this mushroom that took me forever to figure that out according to the pattern. I could not for the life of me figure out why I couldn't find the symbols on the color key, and it's because it was a blended thread and I wasn't looking in the right place. So once I figured that out, I was like, oh, which blended threads do not bother me. And as you can see, I'm not sure how much you can really tell, but it is a purple and a dark gray. So there's, right now I'm working on the second set. So right now it's a purple and I'm working on a very dark gray. And the first thread that I put in was a purple and a medium gray. So let me see where I am at. So I did this. Now I need to move up to here. So I figured once I would work on this for a little bit. I know a lot, I'm thinking a lot of the reason for not wanting to work on Henry was just because of the pain from my shoulder. If you watched my video, you would have known. If you watched my video from Wednesday, you would have known that I had pulled a muscle in my back, and because of that, I was in a lot of pain, and so stitching was bothersome. I'm in much better condition now, and so stitching is not aggravating the muscles in my shoulder, which is wonderful. And so hopefully I will be able to get back to Henry and whip out that page finish this weekend. It is a 3-day weekend, and I should have plenty of time to do stitching and get lots accomplished this weekend. At least that is my goals. But you know, goals are always there to be changed and modified. So where are we at? Right here. So I do love this project. It is on a 28 count white linen, or it may be like an off-white linen that came with the kit. This was a kit that I purchased from France. I ordered it from the online store online that Olivia B was gracious enough to give me the website for. so that I could go ahead and stitch this. I'm not horribly fond of this linen. It's a little loose for my taste, but it's the weave is a little loose for my taste. I prefer higher count linens, but it does stitch up quite nice. Like I have said in previous videos, I'm not going to stress over the confetti on Henry. If I don't feel like stitching it, I'm not going to stitch it because that's just going to cause me to not want to stitch at all. So, and I know the mushrooms were calling me calling my name to stitch. So I think that was just a sign that I needed to put Henry away for a little bit and stitch on the mushrooms. So that's what I decided to do. So we're going to do one. I hope you all had a wonderful week. I had a pretty good week myself. I can't believe it's the weekend already. I know the time is just flying by. Let me see if I'm doing right. Yes, I'm doing this right. And luckily for me, it is a 3-day weekend, and I'm going to take advantage of that as much as possible and get as much time in for my craft as I can. I have big plans this weekend, lots to do. I have a big long list of things I want to get done. So hopefully, time permitting, I will get a lot of those things done. I do not have many plans for the holiday weekend. So, fingers crossed, knock on wood, I will get those goals achieved. But if not, there's always tomorrow. So the mushrooms have I've really been itching to stitch on the mushrooms for a while now. I do enjoy, I haven't stitched on them for quite a while, and what's nice is that, let me see real quick here, I just want to make sure. Okay. What's nice about these are that other than the corner motifs and the ones in the middle, for the most part they're fairly small motifs that you can stitch up in a few days. So I'm hoping that since that first one is done, this first corner one is done, this next few ones won't take that long, and I might be able to whip out a few of them pretty quickly. So you might see the mushrooms more often in the coming months because mushrooms grow in the summer, so I might stitch on the mushrooms more. Especially now that I am starting to get my projects knocked down a bit and not have so many other projects going. I am looking forward to stitching on some of those that I've had on the back burner for a while. So that is enjoyable to think about, knowing that I'm going to be able to get to some of those projects that I have put away. So, which, you know, really there's not that many now. I have this, I have my chatelaine in London, my Thea Governor, and that's really about it, I think. If I remember correctly. So, but keep in mind, all of those are pretty big projects, so. And along with Henry and the owl, there's still plenty of stitching to be had on my current projects. Okay. So I'm trying to be as methodical as possible with how I move across the chart here, because this is a kit and it comes with, while it is DMC and I could probably match the colors pretty easily. Let me see here a second. What am I doing? I try, since it is a kit, I try to be very cautious with threads so that I do not run out of the colors that I have, the floss. So I was quite surprised whenever I first started stitching on this mushroom. I did not expect it to have purple in it, but it does give it a very unique, nice looking look to the piece. Quite a nice texture. Let me see. 1, 2, okay. Okay, so last week I started answering some questions from a Get to Know You tag. It is not a standard Get to Know You tag, it's one I found online. And I thought I would answer some more of those questions in this week's video. Wow, we stitch some mushrooms. So let me just get to a point, because I think I'm going to have to relocate my floss here, so because I don't think I want to carry to the next spot. Okay, let me just double check. Yes. And I forgot the scissors again. Always do that. Okay. As you can possibly hear, the air conditioning is kicking on. It is going to be a pretty warm weekend here, so you might hear that a little bit in the background. It is afternoon here on Friday, and I get a lot of the afternoon sun, so I have to keep my air on to keep it regulated here. And it kicks on quite a bit in the afternoon. Luckily, in the morning and early afternoon, I don't get any sun at all, so I'm able to keep it pretty cool during the day without the air, but then in the afternoon it does get quite warm. Okay. So question number 11, what is your favorite animal? I have many favorite animals, but I think my favorite all-time animal would be the cow, the dairy cow, just because I grew up with dairy cows and we used to show them in the county fairs. But my new favorite animal around me, it would be the squirrel, just because of Geo. But domesticated would be the dairy cow. Now let me see, where am I going? How do I want to do that? Okay, number 12. Remember, these are the second set of questions from last week's video, so that's why I'm saying number 11, because I did the first 10 last week. Number 12, what is your favorite perfume? So I guess perfume or cologne. I am not much of a perfume cologne wearer, so I do not have a favorite scent or 1, 2, 3, 4. So I guess none, or not applicable. Yeah, I don't wear cologne. So I don't have a good answer for you. Number 13, tea or coffee? Now, this is a loaded question. For me, it depends upon if it's hot or cold, or hot or iced. If it's hot, it has to be coffee. I do like hot tea. However, I only drink that occasionally. But I do not like cold coffee or iced coffee at all. And that's mainly because I drink my coffee black. I don't like milk and sugar and all that stuff in my coffee. So, and to drink cold coffee, people don't typically drink black iced coffee. Plus, it's like really bitter and ugh. So, for me, but I do love iced tea. So I like iced tea, and I like hot black coffee. But my go-to is coffee. I drink coffee all the time, as I think many of you do. And I don't drink it for the caffeine. I drink it for the enjoyment of drinking coffee. Number 14. What would you name your children? Or what would you or have you named your children? I do not have children. And if I had children, I would have probably named it after myself because I am the third. So I would have expected to have a boy and named him Henry Gerald IV. Growing up, that's what I always expected to do. And, if I were to ever have children, which I don't expect to have children, that is what I would do. Okay, so let me real quick see where I'm at. I need to go. If I were to have a girl, I don't know what I would name a girl, because I never thought about that, because to me it was always important to have a boy and name him after myself. One. Is that all I'm doing? Oh. Okay. Number 15. What sports do you or have you played? I'm not much of a sports player. I do like volleyball. I occasionally like to play basketball. But other than that, I'm not a sports player. I will occasionally watch, I like to watch football, but I don't watch it on a regular basis. So, and I go jogging. I guess that could be a sport. But other than that, I don't really play sports. Now we go all the way down. Number 16. What is your favorite book? My favorite book is a book written from, I think it was written back in the 80s. And it was written by Ken Follett. And it's called Pillars of the Earth. And it's about the history, it's about the chronicles of a town in 11th century England. I believe it was 11th century England, so the 1200s. Right? No, 13th century. Would have been the 13th century, because that would be the 1200s, right? Yes. Yes, 13th century England. And it's about the chronicles of the people surrounding the village during the construction of a cathedral in England. And obviously, if you know me well enough, you know I love architecture, and he goes into very great detail about the architectural skills of the design of the building, and the tradesmen and all of that. And then he came out with a sequel, I want to say early 2000s, early to mid 2000s, like 2006-ish. I could be wrong in that. I could be very wrong. And I think that was called World Without End. And that was about the descendants of those people from that village. And then this past year was the trilogy book, which I have and I have not read. So I'm looking forward to reading that. I just have to get my reading mojo on. I have not really been much of a reader in the past couple years, so hopefully I will get to the point where I want to read so I can sit down and read that book. But I love those books. So hopefully I will like this one as well. But I am a historical fiction reader. I like reading about stuff that I can learn about the past while still enjoying a good story. Okay, I'm coming to the end of this thread, so just give me a second here to finish these last 4 stitches, and then I can get my next thread ready while I answer a few more questions. Oop, I bet I lost that. Nope, I'm good. Okay. Number 17. Who are some of your favorite YouTubers? You know what? I have so many favorite YouTubers. I really have too many to name. I do have some non-favorite, non-floss tube YouTubers that I watch. Some that are some that are bonsai related, and some that are gamers, because I am into gaming, computer gaming. So I have some that I watch of those as well. Number 18. What is your favorite movie? And that's another hard one because I have so many, there's so many different genres that I'm into of movies. I think in my Get to Know Me, FlossTube Get to Know Me tag, I think I said my favorite movie was Sister Act, which I do think is one of my favorite movies. I also like Lord of the Rings, Hunger Games, Star Wars. I think the Lord of the Rings are in the fantasy genre would be my favorite. So, yeah. I'm more of an action, sci-fi, that type of movie versus comedy. I'm not very much into comedy. Number 19, are you single or taken? I am taken by cross stitch. Cross stitch has taken over my life. Let's leave it at that. And I think we're going to end it right here. I'm going to answer number 20, so I'm not going to stitch any more today. We're just going to finish number 20. What's your idea of an ideal first date? My ideal first date, I really don't, I am going to start my, keep stitching here a little bit more. I don't know if I do have an ideal first date because the way society has changed so much with the advent of technology and everything, I don't know. Really only have to do those few stitches right there in the middle. 1, 2, 3. I don't know, you know, I think it's so different from even whenever I was young and just in my undergrad and college. So I think it's just, I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, I hope you enjoy this. I will continue with more of the questions going forward, you know, because I think a lot of these questions are geared towards a younger audience. But it's still fun to answer some of the questions, and we can have fun, you know, laughing and joking at some of the other questions. And we will, am I doing this right? Okay, yes I am, okay. And I hope you will tune in on Monday for my live video Again, I still don't know what time that will be, but on Monday, please be on the lookout on Facebook and Instagram for when I will be doing that. And I will see you then. And don't forget to always be creative.